Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a special Tuesday edition of the Sully Squad. Had some personal things I had to do last night, so we had to go on Tuesday. And I forgot the music the way Max Kepler forgot to hit.
Hmm.
I can't believe that asshole's in the lineup again. I mean, I don't know. He must have pictures on Rob Thompson or Dombrowski doing something because I don't understand what the hell they're doing, guys.
Well, I just sent you something before we hopped on, so check it out. That's the reason. Rob gave a reason. So
Yeah, what did he? I think I saw. What did he promise these dudes or something?
yeah, something like that. I can't really look at it because I'm on the phone, but yeah, something like that. But
Yeah, this isn't Little League.
What is it? Kepler's 1-3 versus Kremer, and I think Bader has a good record, but still, like you said, voicing your frustration, he should be in the lineup. He could play all three outfield positions. I mean, we could.
Bader's not going to do anything unless he's out there playing.
Once we get the ball rolling, but Rob is just that. Rob is just like that laid back Canadian dude. He has no, grit like Boone going out, spitting sunflower seeds and kicking the dirt. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, so obviously, we're gonna get into a lot of Phillies. We'll recap the trade deadline. And then we got Eagles training camp. And shout out to Eric Allen, my man Eric Allen. I got the Eric Allen jersey on right now. And Eric Allen being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this past weekend, really long overdue. I mean, you talk about a guy.
Damn right.
He should have been inducted a long time ago, guys.
How long have I been saying?
Mitchell and Ness? You have a shirt for everybody.
Pretty much. I know it's a little nuts.
You have Todd Kingston.
What's that?
He had him. He gave that away on eBay. Yeah, he had that, and he gave it away on eBay.
Yeah, no. Well, all right. So you know what's funny? Well, here's a story. So when COVID happened, I was still going to work all the time, and we weren't, we weren't as busy, but we were in the office, and so I started going on eBay and finding these, and I made it a point because I was like, you know what? I was like, when the bars open again, I'm going to buy the most random ass jerseys and wear them out to the bar. And then people will be like, oh, damn. So, I straight up got a Bobby Hoying jersey. Wow. I got a Ty Detmer. I got a freaking Mike Mamula. Right. I even got and then I started collecting Eagles quarterbacks too. Now Eric Allen's a good one, but I got Rodney Pete. So one guy I was trying to find was Bubby Brister. You remember we had Bubby Brister? I was trying to find Bubby
number 6.
You can't even get a Bubby Brister. You know what I mean? And then I mean, I even have an AJ Feely, guys.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so I'm a little out of pocket there with that. But yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, she like I said, shout out to Eric Allen, Hall of Famer. Eagles, with the Phillies, and then another topic I wanted to get into was, there was a report on Joel Embiid. Maybe we'll touch on that at some point. But I don't know. I don't really want to get depressed because it pretty much says that,
He's done.
Newsflash, Embiid's knees fucked up.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
You might as well say water's wet. You know what I'm saying? I got a comment here. Paul Spencer says, what's up, fellas? Real quick, 2026 NBA All-Star Game, no more slam dunk contest. Now it's a one-on-one tournament between selected players. Thoughts? I love it. I love it. What do you guys think?
In all honesty,
wow.
I only like watching the skills competition. I can give a shit about the game.
I agree with Jeff. I miss the days Paul and Joey and Jeff could probably attest to it. Your Jordan, Spud Webb, those guys, guys that were the slam dunkers, guys that you didn't think they could slam, Spud Webb competing. It kind of fizzled out, I think, after the fact of like D Brown, pumping up his Reeboks. I remember, Vince Carter to me was that guy that slammed with authority. Jordan iconic, just like Dr. J slamming from the foul line. I can go on and on. Do I really care about the NBA All-Star? No. I think the most exciting All-Star, I think me and you, Joey, touched on, is kind of the MLB, the home run derby. Yeah. It's not like they're fighting for something, but it's like, one thing I would like to see is like world versus USA, like the Dominicans, Puerto Rican guys versus the United States players, and throw in a little bit of European guys, like some guys with German descent or whatever maybe. But all in all, NBA safe.
I have an idea. In each sport, why don't we get all the guys that are in jail for each sport and have them play an all-star team of ours? And if they win, they can get out of jail free card.
It would almost be like that. What was the movie with Adam Sandler and all?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So you'll have Ray Caruth as your wide receiver.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's for another time. We can go on.
I know.
Hey, Ray Caruth's been in jail for a long time, and he's a bastard. So he's been a wide receiver for a long time, probably. Ray Caruth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's a piece of you know what. So, but yeah.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But all right. So anyway, so you know what? And hang on, I got another one here. Paul Spencer says, Sean, Japan can't field an entire team. Otani can't play every position.
So we'll get Ichiro. We'll get a manga. I'll get you a couple guys. Have some faith, bro.
Well, you got you Darvish, right?
Yeah, you got you Darvish, Amanga, Suzuki. Once again, that's for another show.
Who's the fucking guy from the Mets? Senga?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul don't want him. He's old. Yeah.
Oh, and Quan. I mean, shit.
Oh, yeah, we'll throw in Quan. He has dual citizenship. Yeah, so.
There we go.
What's up, Fuji?
What's up, Fuji? How you doing? So, all right, let's start off with the Phillies here. All right, so Phillies had a good weekend versus the Tigers. Took 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
But I think previous to that, very disappointing outing versus the White Sox. Lost 2 out of 3. So it was a 500. Yeah, it was a 500 week. But I think the biggest news was acquiring the closer. How do you say his name? Johan Duran.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So the closer was a great acquisition, and boy, what an entrance too. I mean, that's exciting as shit. I love the way he comes into a game.
You actually can see the excitement a little bit in the Phillies with this.
It's amazing that when he got traded, Joey, Minnesota gave all the sound or whatever it is, the IT stuff directly to the Phillies.
The media.
Sound check, whatever media. And then it's lights out, just like you said, it's electric, And now I was looking at a reel. MLB set up something where if you're at the game, you can sync your phone to lighting when he makes his entrance. It's just started up and it's like a light show for him. How they shut the lights off, etc. It's pretty interesting. But like you said, hell of an acquisition. He topped out at what Sunday, Joe?
103.3.
103.
Yep. 103 is a record at Citizens Bank Park. 103.3. He has a top 3 pitches. 103.3, 102.9, and 102.5. He has the top 3 fastest pitches at Citizens Bank. Then you have Alvarado hitting 102 at one point.
Wow. But something special,
Yeah.
It's a strike. That's the key. It's a strike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So getting him, really, now all of a sudden you look at the Phillies, you go in October, you got Wheeler, Sanchez, Suarez, and then the 4th spot, like you really don't need a fourth spot until the championship series.
Yeah.
So the fourth spot I would think would either be a healthy Aaron Nola if he shows something, or Luzardo. But then you look at the bullpen. Now you got, all right. So say you have Nola start game 4. You have Luzardo and the pen, Matt Strom. You got Banks, who's been pitching well. Then
Joe
you got
Walsh. Do we throw in?
Who?
Do we throw Joey Ross in there too, Joey?
No, he blows. No, he doesn't even sniff the field. But you got Kerkering. Then this guy shuts it down. So if they have the lead in the 9th inning, Duhan literally shuts it down. So between starting pitching and the bullpen, they are absolutely elite. But my question is, because they also acquired Harrison Bader for the outfield, but did they do enough? Because this lineup, we already touched on tonight how you're starting Kepler. Is this lineup good enough to win it all? Like, Jeff, I'll start with you. Like, pitching wise, I feel like the Phillies have the best pitching in baseball, but is the lineup good enough to win this?
I would have liked, if they could have got another bat. I look at the numbers. Everybody wanted Lewis Robert, and we know the talent that he supposedly, and that's the key, has, but he hasn't shown it in 2 years.
Right.
I go back looking at Scott Kingery. He was supposed to be this great player, and he, started off strong just like Lewis Robert. Where's he at now? So, this other guy seems to be okay. He got his first dinger. I think he's got the nervousness or whatever out of his system. He can play the field. He can run. I'm not Kepler. He shouldn't be in the lineup anymore. He really shouldn't. I would have DFA'd him a while ago. I'm sorry, but he's just not there. They got enough lefties. They don't need him. And this guy Bader needs to play every day, because if you're going to be in the playoffs, you can't switch between him and what's his face, Kepler, in the playoff because of righty lefty shit. I look at the guy that we need to sign. Obviously, I look at Schwarber. He hits left-handers and he hits right-handers. The only way you're going to hit a lefty or a right-hander is to get up against them. I hate this lefty-righty shit. I don't know if you guys played ball in school and high school and everything. Going forward, I wasn't taking out for a lefty or righty. You went up there and you hit everything.
That's what I always thought.
It's all this bullshit analytic stuff. Just go up and hit the ball.
Well, the other thing is too, if you look at Bader actually hits righties better than lefties. So it doesn't make any sense. And then I was saying how I think Kepler has pictures to keep him in the lineup. Like, what the hell does Crawford have to do to come up? Now, I did read something where I think it's being speculated that he might come up on the 15th, and that's because that would delay his service for a year. So that would hold his free agency back. So, I guess at this point, if it's already August 5th, a lot of people are speculating that Crawford might be called up after the 15th, because that way it holds him back a year of free agency, year arbitration, all that shit.
I heard exactly the same thing you heard, but I also heard something that's very true. What's his face? Kruk and McCarthy talking. And Kruk said, I know you have Tomey in front of him, but maybe if you didn't hold Ryan Howard back so long, he'd be in the Hall of Fame with the numbers he has, even with his foot like it was.
Yeah.
Who knows how many years he could have did all that, where he would have been. Look how much he did when he was here. He's he is basically like Schwarber is right now. Every time he comes up the bat, I don't care if I'm in the middle of taking a piss, I'm running out, peeing on the floor to see him at bat, because you never know when he's going to hit one and how far it's going to go.
I was in the kitchen when he hit that grand slam, and I'm like, holy shit.
You're running the TV. Yeah.
I mean, it's just something else with Schwarber. We definitely have to sign him. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Unfortunately, you probably know, every home run he hits, cha-ching.
Yeah.
Suarez is gone. Unfortunately, unless Suarez takes a big discount, he's gone. They can't sign them both. And which one do you keep?
I would rather, what's the name, get his due or go get the money, Suarez, and keep Schwarber.
I
Just
agree.
what he does at the plate. It's
and
so
in the
exciting,
clubhouse and everything else too. Yeah.
and he's a leader. He's the guy. Everybody speaks highly of him.
Yeah.
If it's from the city, from his charity work to on the field, off the field, nothing better than having a player, even regardless of what state, whatever. That's what you want. That's what embodies the Phillies.
I think there would be less uproar in keeping Schwarber than keeping what's his face? Suarez. Yeah, you do have to worry about Suarez's back.
Well, I think most Phillies fans, as much as everybody loves Ranger, I mean, you could look at this team and say, even when Ranger leaves, you still have Wheeler, Sanchez, Nola, and then Luzardo and Painter, because you're banking on Painter, so you still have a good rotation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, not that I'm necessarily. I think some of the shine on Luzardo's kind of, with the last few months. I don't know if people are that confident in him, but as a fourth or fifth starter, Luzardo's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? So, so I think people kind of, if they lose Schwarber, they lose all their power. I mean, Schwarber's the only guy hitting home runs.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that.
It's working. Turner's actually doing well on the leadoff spot, getting on base. So he's actually been working well.
I love that.
I mean, how many home runs does Schwarber hit when it's usually solo home runs? They're finally getting some guys from the bottom of the lineup into the top with Turner getting on base, and Schwarber's actually got 94 RBIs now. Last year, during the time, because nobody was hitting before him, he probably have like 60 RBIs right now because nobody's on base. That's the key. He's actually got guys on base. So right now, the lineup is pretty set to the top, and if they can keep these guys in the middle to the bottom. Now, I like what's his face. I think Otto plays well, which is the key reason why you get rid of Kepler. I like Otto out there.
I think also in my eyes, get rid of Bohm. I'm shocked that we didn't kind of package him.
I think his injury held back a trade.
That's another thing I was going to, but yeah, get rid of him. I would love to have him traded in a package or whatnot, But Crawford, like you said, he's been doing a lot of fielding in center field, and then Rojas is in left down in Lehigh, So just like you touched on, Joey, you're going to see him up here, and I think that's kind of what we need because the Kepler show's over. People don't want to see it anymore. No. It was a bad signing, and let's not forget Christopher Sanchez, man. Wow.
Oh yes.
Like the stats don't lie. He was skinny. He added some good muscle. He finally found the strike zone where he should be. I mean, other than that, man, he's just a blessing. Just like you touched on, Joey, from the 1 to the 4th, 5th starter. I mean, it's ours for the taking.
Yeah. We do have the best starting lineup or starting pitching in the National League.
And JT, I don't
care. Are all in the ER or IR or IL or whatever the hell you want to call it. They're all hurt.
And JT's just simply amazing the way he calls a game. I just love how he calls a game and just his whole, play behind the plate.
I think he's changed his approach too. He's not trying to hit home runs anymore. Up there before, he was swinging harder than he was now. Now he's just got a nice swing. He's getting his singles, and then every once in a while, obviously, he's popping one out. That's what he needs to be now at this part of his career. And I think they're going to re-sign him and keep him here. He said he would take a discount here. You got to keep him with these pitchers. It's kind of like Ruiz. You have to keep him because he works well with these pitchers. Obviously, we got to get a better backup.
It's a great game.
Yeah. Still got an arm. Not many people are going to get run on him.
Absolutely.
So you can kind of keep this core together next year to a point. You plug a player here and there, and go from there. That's Painter. I got to see what Painter's got. Until I actually see Painter up here and do something, I'm one of those guys. Until you do something, I don't believe it. How many players have we had in any team have these guys that are supposed to dominate and they don't do shit. I got to see it first.
What's your thoughts, guys, on the Bryce Harper Manfred thing? Get the fuck out of the clubhouse.
I don't like. You know what? I don't. This is going to be an unpopular opinion as for a Phillies fan because I love Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
But I don't like it at all because, like, I mean, I get that they don't want a salary cap, and I understand that. Okay, so I'm not. It has nothing to do, but like, and I don't necessarily love this commissioner, but like the commissioner's taken the time to meet with the teams to try to better the game, and like, no offense to Bryce Harper, but Bryce Harper's already made his money. Bryce Harper. If the league shuts down for a year, Bryce Harper's fine, okay. But what do guys that haven't made dick yet do? Like Otto Kemp and like the young players, like they can't afford to sit out for a year.
Yeah.
So like that's why I always have a problem. Like when you look at these labor situations with baseball, it's always the guys that have all the fucking money that have the most shit to say. Well, what about if you took a silent poll and asked you have a 25-man roster, a lot of them dudes aren't making they can't afford to miss a fucking year. You know what I'm saying?
Reading the story that came out today, actually, what's his face? I'm totally drawing a blank on his name now. Not the commissioner. Totally drawing a blank on his name. Yeah, thank you. He said it's not as bad as the media made it sound. Mm-hmm. So, okay, maybe he said it low. Who knows? We're going off the media. God, when you read the media, I mean, you're reading everything.
They stretch it out. They can say whatever.
So he may have said, "Get the hell out of here." He may have said, "We don't want to hear this shit." Whatever. I kind of like that he took an upper hand and stuck up for every baseball player. I kind of like that he took over the locker room in a roundabout way, and maybe players look up to him a little bit more that way. Some of these, owners or CEOs and all this shit, sometimes they need somebody to get into their face. The thing that he hasn't gotten suspended or anything against him makes it sound like maybe it wasn't too much. Or he's saying something to the league. I mean, saying something to all the leagues, because you look at all the commissioners, Adam Silver, he's fucking ruined the sport.
Yeah.
Take it away. He's a guy somebody needs to get in his face, but nobody will. So
that's why nobody watches the NBA. I mean, it's not fun to watch. For me, it's football and baseball all day, and sprinkling. I'm a hockey fan. Playoff hockey gets no better. But
So I agree to a point, Joe, that you still respect your elders per se and your owner or your the person you're playing for in general. But I kind of see both sides of it. I guess I got the competitive edge that way. I'm kind of the same way. I would probably curse them off. Maybe I'd say sorry later, but my emotions got open. Blah 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 blah. Everything's good, but these social media. But we would have read it 6 days or 7 days later in a newspaper in an article by somebody we actually believe.
I don't necessarily. I guess what I'm saying is I don't necessarily have a problem with what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In this particular case, I just mean in general. Like
I knew what you mean.
In general, I kind of have a problem with the guys making all the money, with all the shit to say because the little guy gets fucked. You know what I mean? But I do, and I do think that there's a problem. Baseball does need to do something. Maybe not necessarily a salary cap. I think the problem with baseball, there should be a salary floor. I mean, because you look at these teams like the Marlins and the Pirates, they don't pay anybody anything. Like there should be a salary floor because they get to share in the revenue and the TV, and they don't put it towards their players. So like you should have to have at least. Like, even if you're a small market team, you should have to have at least like $100 million payroll or something, or at least 90. I mean, some of these teams, like 2 or 3 dudes make more on a team than like the whole Marlins team.
Who's on the Mets butt right now? The Marlins.
What's that?
Who's on the Mets butt right now? The Marlins. The Marlins are like 13-4 in the last 17 games. The
Right.
Marlins, the team that has no money, they have nothing, and they're playing unbelievable baseball with these young kids who want to obviously play baseball, look good, and in their mind probably get traded a year or two from now because they don't want to be on the Marlins and they're going to be free agents and they can go elsewhere. It's almost like the Montreal Expos all over again. You
And
play
they
for a
have
couple
fun
years there.
playing the game they love, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I can see your point in that too. They need to sit down and rethink this whole thing because Bobby Bonilla screwed everything up. That whole Mets Bobby Bonilla thing really, I think that's when baseball had an issue right then and there. You shouldn't have been allowed to do that. You can do every player like that if you wanted to and sign every player for 25 years. Win the World Series and have what you have and then sell the team to somebody else, whatever. You know, and pay the guy off if you got all this money coming in. That's what could literally happen if you have something like that go on. If you think about it, stretch it out. Look at the goalie. What's his name? Was it the Rangers? Remember? He's still getting paid every year too.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Hey, so speaking of things not looking good though, one concern I have about the Phillies, or to see how concerned you guys are.
Mm-hmm.
Wheeler's last 3 starts.
Yeah.
He's gotten hit a little bit. Or how concerned are you? Are you guys? What's your concern level with Wheeler right now? Because he really hasn't been the same since he had that complete game. What was it? He had that
Cincinnati.
complete game against San Diego, I think, like 3 weeks ago or something like that. He hasn't been the same. What's your concern level with him, guys?
For me, I want to see the next game, and then let's see what the concern is. I mean, I'm not concerned because of the level of player he is, but like you said, there is some room for concern. Maybe it's the birth of the child. He's up doing daddy duty. Everybody knows about that. The heat. Or whatever. Maybe it is catching up to him, but I don't think so. But for me, I think I'm going to give it one more game and kind of like what you're saying, focus on him and see what it's about and see how he goes from there.
I'm concerned, but not overly concerned. One thing that Topper came out and said was, I asked him what he wanted to do, and he said he didn't want to come out. The first time he's ever said that, because you remember he pulled Wheeler before. So he's asking Wheeler what he wants to do. What pitcher, especially if his caliber, is going to say, I want to come out? Nobody.
Yeah. Hey, I wish Topper had left Wheeler in Game 6 again in Houston in 2022.
Yeah, he was telling me we were there.
He was dealing that night. He took them out because of analytics and they lost the game. So here's our man Mike Laura. What's up, boys? Mike? What's up, Mike? How you doing? You can check Mike out on Sundays on the PM and the AM show. Those guys do a great job. But yeah, I mean, I'm not overly concerned about Wheeler because of his track record. Although he, I'm kind of wondering though when Nola comes back, if maybe and if they call Painter up, if maybe they go 6-man rotation for a few weeks to kind of keep some of these guys' arms rested. Because if you look, Phillies starters have pitched the most innings in baseball in the major leagues. So you do have to watch. You do have to watch that you don't burn. I know the starting pitching is the strength of this team, but you want to make sure you don't burn them out before October. You know what I mean? So, but it is
definitely something to watch.
Oh yeah, definitely, and but I mean, it is a catch-22 because I feel like you got to win the division because you look at these standings. If the Phillies don't win the division, there's a possibility that they could have to possibly go to Wrigley for a 3-game series in the first round. I want no parts of that shit.
I'm not really worried about anybody. I just want them in the playoffs. To be honest with you. To a point, it seems like the Phillies can't beat the teams that suck. They can't beat Pittsburgh. They can't beat the White Sox. They can't beat these teams. They can beat the shit out of the teams that are good. Makes no sense to me.
I think they try too hard. They got that cockiness factor. Like, okay,
we got this.
Comes the bad news bears rolling up on them, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it's almost like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I hear you on that, but like I said, but if I had all things being equal, though, I'd rather not have to play a best of 3 in Chicago. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like other years, I might be like, hey, just get in the playoffs, and ultimately, I mean, even though the Cubs are a nice story this year, I mean, if I'm going best of 3, Wheeler, Sanchez, Suarez. I like my odds of beating anybody 2 out of 3, no matter where we play. I mean, so I'm not going to say I'm afraid of the Cubs, but I would just this particular year I'd like to win the division and avoid that. And the other thing is too, you look at the National League, the standings. I mean, you really want to finish top 2 because if you finish third, then all a sudden, you have a home series, but you might have the San Diego Padres coming here. And by the way, no one did more at the deadline than the San Diego Padres. I mean, you look at their bullpen; they went out and got Mason Miller, they went out and got Ryan O'Hearn, and the other kid, what was it, Laureano for the outfield? I mean,
Laureano, your buddy, yeah.
I mean, the Padres, in my opinion, I think the Padres got much better, and.
They gave like 20 prospects, Joey. I think I sent that to you. It's half the minor league team.
Here's a trivia question for you. Have you guys ever seen Little Big League?
Yes.
So do you know the mother in Little Big League?
Crow Armstrong. Mom.
Do you know who,
is Crow Armstrong her son?
That's her son.
Yeah.
I just saw that. Yeah, I read that last week and they showed a picture. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I knew them.
Wow, how about that? Yeah, I had no idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so all right, so what? Speaking of that, since we're talking about, kind of deadlines and all that stuff, let's take a quick look around baseball. Post, we're talking Phillies, but who and we mentioned how the Padres improved, but looking at it post deadline now, what team are you most concerned about, and what team in the National League, like as far as Padres, are you concerned about them? Cubs, Dodgers, obviously, do you guys like what the Mets did? The Mets went out and got the
closer
from closers. They got a great bullpen.
Yeah, and the guy the Mets got from the Giants, I think Phillies. The Phillies' top hitters are like 3 out of 30 against him. So
yeah, the sidearm guy.
Who?
The sidearm guy, the Taylor Rogers.
He's like Kent Colby.
Yeah. So like Sean, I'll start with you. Like post deadline, where do you think the Phillies stack? I mean, because if we're here's my concern: Phillies starting pitching is great and probably better than most teams, and I love the closer. But if the Phillies don't score any fucking runs and it's tied, once you get to like the 5th, 6th inning in these bullpen games. The Padres scare the shit out of me. The Mets scare the shit out of me with their bull. You know what I mean? Like these teams with their bullpen scare the shit out of me. Hang on, I got to comp. So what do you think, guys?
I'm right there with you. They made some acquisitions for the bullpen. You got your Mets, you got the Yankees in the AL. But is it kind of concerning? Yeah, we do have the hitting. I totally agree with you, Joey. And to bring up a point with Mikey, you got to be worried about them. You got your Frankie Perletta. They've just brought up the kid Logan Anderson for the kid who made the All-Star and Sanchez did. And I'm not going to butcher the kid's last name. But yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. It's kind of concerning. I think we're in with the NL teams and all, but like you said, come October. Hopefully we're wheeling and dealing and our bats are hot and stay hot. Because if not, we get out of luck.
With going on with Sean's saying exactly, along with the bats being hot, we need to have a set lineup going through September, getting into the playoffs. We need to have it set. Because one thing that the Phillies seem to do is hit all these all-star pitchers in the bullpen. We kick the shit out of Diaz all the time over for the Mets. You seem to hit all these guys. If you think about it, the guys that you never heard their names before are the ones that we can't hit.
The unsung heroes. Yep.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like the Eagles when we got beat by Joe Webb. Who the hell's Joe Webb? It's like we play down to these people. But we seem to hit these people.
Yep.
But we need to have a set lineup by then. None of this, all this bullshit with this guy playing this day, this guy playing that day. They need to be in sync. Figure out what works, set the lineup, and then go with it. That's my big thing there. And the Brewers are also the team that I kind of worry about. Not many people talk about the Brewers, but they're the team that are kind of silently sitting there waiting to, like
they creep up on you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Brewers have the best record in baseball right now. So I mean, I think they kind of snuck up on everybody. And like Jeff, to your point, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I would love to have a set lineup, but like, I feel like you look at this Phillies team though. That's kind of like utopia though, as far as like what I mean is like. I don't think they're going to do it. You know what I mean? Like I think what we see is what we get. Like I think when come October, if there's a tough lefty on the mound, you're probably going to see Sosa at second. I mean, I guess it remains to be seen if they call Crawford up. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't see them going to a set lineup. I feel like they're going to keep doing what they've been doing.
Well, you're going to have a player, obviously, here and there. Like Kemp. Is Bohm going to be back by then? Are you going to have Kemp at third, or are you going to put Bohm in there? I mean, it depends. I guess you don't lose your starting job when you're injured, but Kemp's playing fine right now. It's going to take Bohm a while to come back and do what he's going to be doing again. Getting those small little doubles and things like that. He's definitely not a home run hitter.
What's the severity of that rib injury? I mean, that remains to be seen. Like they should have put him on the IL before the All-Star or whatever they brought up.
But Bohm's coming back. He's already running. Bohm's already running.
He's taking some fielding, but he hasn't done any heavy swinging. He's hit off the tee.
Yeah, I mean, Bohm timeline. I mean, I would imagine Bohm's probably back within the next week or two.
Okay. And then what do you do with Kemp? Do you put Kemp in the outfield and keep Kepler off? Kemp for Kepler.
I like that. I just like you couldn't have said it better. I like Kemp's spark. I like his mentality, his hunger, the way he approaches the game. It's a shame for Kepler. Maybe it's a mental block in the head. Who knows? But when he is given that opportunity, just like you guys said, he doesn't shine.
No, it's Austin Hayes.
It's do you put him in Lehigh? I totally agree. DFA him, and
I don't care. And if he goes around saying, "Oh, the Phillies promised this, they lied," well, there's so many other players that know that's bullshit.
Yeah, but you're not living. You're not playing to your potential. Just
that's exactly it.
And is Philly a hard place to play for?
Right.
We tell you like it is. You got to have thick skin. I think Larry Bowers. Even Crooks said it. You just got to have it, and if you don't, there's the door. See
ya. Here's an update on Bohm last night. Okay. It says yesterday was the best Alec Bohm has felt since his rib fracture. The hope is that he's going to soon progress to on-field batting practice and eventually join a minor league affiliate for a game rep. So that tells me that he could be back maybe even in the next 10 days.
Yeah, like next week. Yeah, and the next week. Absolutely. Yeah.
We're already halfway through August. So like I said, if he comes out and starts playing and he's not doing shit on the team, do you just keep him in there because he's Alec Bohm? You can't. That's the one thing that he has to do I think if they don't go pretty deep or if they don't make the World Series, I think it's the end of the topper. He's had these guys who are arguably, one of the better teams in the league, and they don't make it. It's time to go.
Take your Canadian ass out. Like I said to Joey, really. I want a guy that's going to fight for you. He was a total zombie when Realmuto got called on a strike that was a ball. And he's sitting there like this. Go out there. Spit some sunflower seeds. Do like an Aaron Boone. You know, Jim Fugosi, something. He just stood there motionless and like a mime.
Yep. I think that goes a long way. But we'll jump off them to the Eagles. How about Howie doing it again? Fleecing the Raiders this time.
Yeah. Well, hang on. I'm gonna get to that in 1 second here because I just wanted to ask you guys something.
Yeah.
On the Phillies, real quick here.
Mm-hmm.
The next week, this schedule here, you got two more with Baltimore. Before we come back next week, we got 2 more with Baltimore here, and then you have 3 in Texas. And then after that, you have 3 in Cincinnati. So in the next 5 games, because they're off on Thursday, in the next 5 games, what is our record?
Depending on if Walker has a good game tonight, 4-1.
Okay.
Texas is a train wreck, and we should beat them. And we owe them from them destroying us. What was it, last year on opening weekend? Or 2 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, sign me up for that. You said 5 games, 4-1. I'm with Jeff.
Yeah, I mean Texas has been playing a little better though. I mean, I'm looking
won
here
last night.
They're only Texas is only 4.5 out in the West. So I mean, but hopefully 4-1. I mean, we should beat Baltimore the next 2. I think Baltimore's kind of checked out. So 2. Yeah, you know what? I say 3. I say 3-2. I think they beat Baltimore the next 2, and Texas beats us 2-1.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I mean, all right. So that's
I was on Howie with the dude they fleeced with the cornerback.
Yeah, you know what? I think that was a pretty good move. I mean, but what does that tell you as far as, the kid, that tells you that maybe Fangio's not quite in love with what's going on with Ringo and Adoree Jackson.
I was watching Good Morning Football this. I don't know if you guys watch it in the morning. Usually try to watch it, and they were talking obviously Parsons. What's going to happen there? And then they went in, and then they basically went into saying, and Howie did it again. He pretty much fleeced them for a player that Oakland or the Vegas can use or whatever. They can basically use him because of who they lost, but we fleeced him because this guy's got some numbers. He's good. He can actually move around. He's a young, quick talent, and I know they're between Adoree Jackson and Ringo and this and that. This is Howie doing exactly what he does. One of those guys isn't playing well or not doing right. You got another guy. It's almost like Howie reminds me of this. Howie reminds me of a shark, or the Eagles team reminds me of a shark. Well, that was when a shark loses a tooth. Another one just rolls right back in its place. That's what the Eagles have when it comes to these players. So he's got a player that can be a starter if they need one. That's a key thing, because how many teams do you see that doesn't have a guy to back up who's close to or as good as the guy in front of you? That's the big thing that Howie does. That's the difference between him and I think most of the teams in the league is he gets these guys that people give up on that are just as good maybe in this offense, but they're there to roll them out and they work well. That's what I think this move is just to keep it going. Somebody gets hurt, roll another guy out.
It's a revolving door. That's basically what it is. That's how it's always been with the Eagles. Look at the front, the D line. Like I said, the Joey, Ajomo, Jackson Hunt. Ty Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
You had Ty Booker, who we traded for the young cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
He played very well in a backup role when called upon Booker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a win-win, like you said.
And he's on the Eagles, and the Eagles get such big praise, so now his stock went up. I think that's how he does it, like you're saying. Yep.
And his stats don't lie. He's out of Maryland. He's 24. And I think with this defense, They're young and they're hungry.
Mhm.
And if maybe Fangio did have to say, like, this is the kind of kid you want implemented in this defense. You know, from Jahad Campbell, they said he's running with the first team. He's just his motor's nonstop. He's doing so good. His aggressiveness after the play. They're like, look, you need to calm it down a little bit, pump the brakes. But that's a young kid. He's trying to make his mark, just like you have your Parsons, your Lewis and all those guys. He wants to make a name for himself, and I love it because any given Sunday could be taken away from you. You know, you got Nakobe Dean nipping at you. You don't know if he's coming back. But with this team, it's like a brotherhood. You know, everybody plays with each other and wants to win. It's not individuality. You know, but
and I think that's the key to the Eagles winning. I think that's a big key. Is the next player up is almost as good as the actual guy you have starting. I mean, sometimes you can put a different guy in there as starter, and you don't even think about, oh, didn't so and so start? You got your key players, obviously. Hurts.
Even when you're running back, there's something on Twitter. I was reading. Saquon Barkley speaks high of Jahad Campbell. He's British, he's athletic, and he brings it. And that's awesome because I just can't wait to see what this defense brings because, once again, it's a revolving door. You have so much great depth from the front, middle, and to the secondary. And, it's we got the target on our back. And you know what? Everybody loves it. They want it. Bring it.
I kind of have that feeling. I remember with Jim Johnson, what he did with his defenses. And that's kind of how I feel now. This is how I feel about Fangio, that it doesn't matter. I'm going to say who he gets, but he gets the owner or whatever to go out and get the players he wants. And they do come in here and they fit just right, and it works. And I think that's what they did here. And if when you're going to move on, you're going to move on. Like you said, a year and they leave. Look at all the guys that left. They fill all the positions.
I see before on another topic or whatever, Justin Simmons or Asante Samuel's coming here. And for what reason? In my eyes, Justin Simmons because of the Fangio factor. It's a veteran. And do they have a locker room guy? BG retired.
Yeah.
Do you get a Nolan Smith, the young kid, or Jackson? We don't know.
It's funny you said that, Justin Simmons. They had something on the Twitter or Instagram. They had on Instagram. He was at what the hell's the name of that new chicken place? It's getting big now. They got Chick-fil-A and the other place. What is it?
Canes.
No, is it? Maybe it's yeah. One of those. They said that somebody sold Justin Simmons there with an Eagles hoodie.
He had high praise for Fangio. Yeah. He wants to play here. Like, who doesn't? If you get an opportunity, 2-time Super Bowl champs. Just the Philly aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, sign me up. But Simmons, I think, is what Fangio is going to get because he could have him guide the youngsters. Yeah. So I'm just excited to see what we bring,
Did you guys notice that the corner from the Raiders was actually picked one pick ahead of Keely Ringo?
Yes.
So, and the Raiders had a need at defensive tackles, and the Raiders have some guys in the front office that used to work for the Eagles. So, it made sense to match up the trade. You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty much like, and the guy Booker we gave up isn't a scrub. I mean,
he's not. He
filled in. So he may play well. He may play well out there in Vegas. Sure. But yeah, I like the fit from for the Eagles, and I feel like this kid's going to come in and compete. And Jeff, like you said, that's the thing that Howie's good at. But I would caution though. The one thing about this guy, he's good in coverage, but he was like 185th out of like 200 and some corners in tackling. And the one thing about the Fangio defense is he seems to like tackle. He likes his corners to tackle because Fangio plays they do play some man, but he plays a lot of zone. And, you can't really have a guy out there that can't tackle. So,
Exactly.
I know everybody, I love Howie Roseman, and he's doing a great job. And I know it's easy to say that we fleeced the Raiders, and maybe we did, because I do think this kid can play. But, I would caution a little bit. I don't know if we necessarily fleeced them if this kid can't tackle. You know what I mean?
Well, we had a player here who couldn't tackle also. There you go. Asante Samuel, not the junior, but Asante Samuel could never tackle. All he was going for was the interception. He did a lot for us, too.
Yeah.
In general, maybe this guy comes in as a third down back on every passing play. You know it's going to be a pass. This guy's going to be out there. And then you got your Blankenship's and you got your other guys that are going to nail everything that moves. So you got this guy who can stay on you, and he's that fast. There you go.
No, I like the trade.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw the trade,
it's pretty even. To be honest with you, it's pretty even.
Yeah, I liked the trade when I saw it. I liked it. I mean, shit, why not take a chance on this kid? I mean, I get you. I'm just a little cautious as far as, and I hear what you're saying about Asante Samuel, but in all fairness, that was a different defense and a different defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? Like you look at the Eagles, Eagles were number 1 ranked in defense last year. And a lot of that shit was Quinyon Mitchell would tackle. Cooper DeJean showed you from the nickel.
Sure.
They threw that shit to Derrick Henry. He came up and stuck his ass.
How
about the Cincinnati game, the 3rd and 1? He threw it to Jamar Chase. Cooper DeJean comes over and sticks him. Now, this kid might cover good, but if he comes up and misses the damn tackle, I don't think Fangio's going to like that. You know what I mean?
And that's when Fangio gets in his face and says, "Tackle, buddy, or you're not going to be on the team anymore." And hopefully that's what happens.
Another thing to bring up, one-on-ones, who's on thin ice. Johnny Wilson going against 5'10", Mac Williams versus 6'6", and Mac Williams annihilated. A lot of drops. So it's going to be interesting to see who stays and who goes.
Elliot Shore-Parks was talking about that. He said that the one guy who's been playing out of his mind has been Campbell. He said they've had to tell him to back off a little bit, that he's hitting too many guys with red shirts. They hit Hurts once and put Hurts down on the ground, and he picked him up and he was going to throw him back down, and he had to stop to think about it for a second. So he's got his motor running already. And they said the one guy what guy do you think's on the bubble or could be out of here? He says, kind of disappointed in Johnny Williams. He hasn't taken advantage of anything with A.J. Brown being down right now. He said he just hasn't taken advantage.
Dude, if I'm 6'6", I'm shining. Whether it's 4th, 5th receiver or whatever, or even ball out on special teams, because I love special teams, But I guess the dude's heart's not in it. Who knows? We don't know.
Maybe just nervous. Maybe he's nervous being around all these great players and being in Philadelphia. Who knows? I don't know.
Nah, man. You got to savor the moment, You got to seize the moment, savor it. And, I mean, shit, I know I would. I mean, but these guys, a lot of these players want to be hand-fed, coddled, and all this other stuff. But, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Do you know there's not one more Thursday this year right now without a football game?
Yes, I know. I know, it's great. I know. I love this. I love this time of year. Well, hey, piggybacking off of that, Thursday's the first preseason game. What are we? What? So I mean, I think Fangio said the starters might play. The defensive starters might play one series possibly, because I think he likes his guys to play. Yeah. But other than that, like, what are you guys looking at? What are you guys looking at the most out of this game? Like could it be Tanner McKee? How about Shipley? Like what where are your eyes going for this game?
Just see how the backups play. Yeah,
I want to see how the backups play. I want to see how Vanilla Gorilla plays. I want to see AJ Dillon. I would like to see him, and like you brought up, Joey, and Dotson. I mean, I can go on and on, but yeah, some of the guys that finally get their reps, their dues, So yeah,
same thing here. I'm not going to watch probably till the whole thing, but yeah, you get into like the 3rd or 4th just to see some of the names that are backups and that you've heard about and see whether they really are running their routes or quick, or like you said, in Fangio's defense. We've seen his defense. We know what he likes. So,
man, I think this is going to be like a test for him. Who's the weak? Who's the strong?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I'm looking at a few. I want to see Tanner McKee as the number 2.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at defensive tackles like we just traded Booker, so I'm wondering, okay, how Sean, the kid from Baylor that we had on the practice squad all year, he's probably going to get some Gabe.
Oh yeah,
Gabe.
Gabe Hall.
Yeah, I want to see him. I want to see Mac McWilliams. I think I want to see what he could do. So there are 3 guys. There are a few guys right there. The wide receiver battle. Johnny Wilson supposedly has been dropping some passes, and there's a few other kids that have been playing well. So there's some of the things I'm looking at. And then of course like Jeff said, like backups, backup offensive tackles. God forbid Lane Johnson gets hurt.
Next man up, yeah, Kendall.
Right. Right, but I know, but who is that? Because last year you had I'm drawing a blank. Who the fuck the left tackle, the guy that filled in for last year that signed with Cincinnati. I can't remember his name. Shit. I want to see Jeremiah Trotter Jr. too.
Yeah, Trotter Jr.
Eagles traded Booker for a backup for this kid from Vegas. What does that tell you? Well, I think Mike's saying that the kid from Vegas maybe blows, but I think it's more of a scheme fit. You know what I mean?
He doesn't fit in Carroll's defense. I know.
That's how you have to see it. Like you said, Joey, it's a win-win. You give him Booker, then because they released that dude that played for Clemson and the Raiders. They released him, so Jenkins. So you got to obviously address that need, because that dude's never going to play an ounce of football again. And then I guess they said, you know what, we need next year cornerback, secondary guy. What do you got? Boom, kid from.
And also remember, there's going to be guys being dropped.
There is. I heard
now and the beginning of the season.
I heard the defensive end from the Giants. He's not doing too good. I mean, but that's hearsay. It's still early, and you got a lot of guys that are just bodies. So I'm interested to see who stays, who goes.
Yeah, the kid Smalley Mondin, supposedly the linebacker has been flashing, and then
nice
guy they've been talking about at training camp, wide receiver. Where am I seeing it here? Oh, Elijah Cooks supposedly has been looking real good. Elijah Cooks has been making some plays. I think he's in a battle with Johnny Wilson. So we'll see what happens there. I would have been looking forward to Terrence Marshall, but I think he got hurt.
Yes, he did.
I don't know. I think they keep him now. Supposedly they were really enamored with him, and he was really picking it up. They maybe put him on the reserve list or injury list, whatever, but I think they keep him. They were pretty impressed from what they said.
They love his size. They love his route running. So, yeah, just like you said, that's possibly a stay for him.
Yeah.
I'm also looking at the tight end position because, Goddard's not, who's going to be the third tight end behind Calcaterra? You got Kylan Granson brought in. You got Harrison Bryant they brought in.
The kid from the Colts.
What's that?
The kid from the Colts, I think, is my guy.
Yeah, and then you look at the tackle position. Like we were saying before, like the depth chart, you got Jordan Mailata, then you got the guy they signed from Miami, the Kendall Lamb. Yeah. And then you have the undrafted guys they brought in, Miles Hinton. Then you got on the right side, you got the kid Kennard they brought in from the Chiefs practice squad. You got Cameron Williams, the kid from Texas. So I'm looking to see, I want to see what those kids look like. You know what I mean?
That's another player they were talking about who's really shined. Another player they haven't really shined so far. Like I said, Elliott Shore Park, stuck off him, is Oche, the dude from the Chiefs. Yeah, they said he's been playing like out of his mind.
Yeah, he has been looking better than the guy they signed from the Giants, because a lot of people were high on the guy from the Giants, the kid from Georgia, but Uche's been he's even been taking some first team reps, so we'll see what he looks like. Guy they drafted, he's got good bloodlines, but I don't know how he's looking in camp. The kid Drew Kendall. Because his father played in the NFL, Pete Kendall. He played for Seattle for a long time. So I'm kind of interested to see what he looks like. And I also want to see Trevor Keegan, the second-year guard from Michigan, because I know the Eagles. I was reading that the Eagles really like him. So we'll see. We'll see if,
he has great footwork.
Yeah, so we'll see if that. And I'll tell you, looking at the right guard position. You got Tyler Steen. He's going to be the starter, but behind him, it's a question mark. You got Matt Pryor, who's he's a veteran. He's been in the league a long time, but he's kind of a journeyman. And then you got Keegan. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, because you guys know as well as I do. The thing that can derail a championship run is injuries. So that you need these backups to show well.
The key thing, what obviously this is preseasons for and practices, is during the season, do you hear a lot of these guys' names? No. That's good. When you don't hear their name, that means they haven't gotten beaten.
Yeah.
So, you're trying to think who the hell was the backup. Yeah, that's right. The other guy.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame, because Macumba has gotten a great write up coming out of college, but he's been kind of dinged up. Now, you know what though? I wouldn't panic too much, because if you guys remember last year's preseason, Cooper DeJean was banged up,
and look where he's at.
And he wound up having a great year. So, while I would like to see Macumba in there, I'm not going to automatically just write him off as like a redshirt rookie year, because hopefully he progresses pretty quick.
His backup Matata is playing.
What's that?
His backup Matata's playing.
Oh yeah.
Matata.
I know, right?
That was bad.
Hey, you know what?
On that note, we got Joel Embiid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
He needs to go to your injury lawyer.
Yeah, Akuna Matata, the means no worries. That's like Howie Roseman. You know what I mean? When you have Howie Roseman as your GM, it means no worries. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But yeah, you know what? Actually, you know what? I'm going to get ready to wrap up in a minute. Yeah, before we do though, the Joel Embiid. There was an article that came out about Embiid saying about his knee. I don't know. Was he even worth talking about? Because it's.
It's been good, guys. See you later.
Yeah, is it even worth talking about Joel Embiid right now? Because the article came out and said a lot of teams are saying he's pretty much done, and he might be. You know what I mean?
I think now he wants. I think he wants out of Philly and wants to get away from this. He loves Philadelphia in general, but I think he needs to leave the team. He's not going to be the same. He just needs to go somewhere else, even if it's a place where you don't even hear, whatever. Just somewhere else. He's just not going to be the same. You're always going to be watching the game, waiting for him to go down. The first time he falls on the floor, everybody's going to be going, you know what I mean? It's not worth it. Unfortunately, it's a shame. He didn't have a great career here. What can you do?
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
And
Lindros, to me, Lindros is the same way. I love Lindros, always will. But to me, obviously, when he got hit in the head and he had the injury, he was done in his knees. He was done. He couldn't do what he needed to do. And I wanted him to stay here. I wanted him to end up a Flyer, but you can't. He just couldn't do what you do. And it's done. This is a game now, and it's pissing people off. I'm pissed off. I don't even want to put them on. I feel bad. They're getting good. You got some good young guys and this and there, but I can't watch it because I'm tired of hearing his name now. It's just gotten to that point.
Yeah, I'm done. I was gonna say I was debating on whether to even bring it up or not, to be honest with you, just because I mean, the Phillies are playing great ball, or well, they're not playing great ball. They've been kind of playing 500, but at least the Phillies have a chance.
They're competitive, very competitive.
Something, you know what I mean? They have great pitching. The Eagles are Super Bowl champs, and then you got the Sixers, who are like, it's like, what the fuck we got? You know what I mean? Even the Flyers. I mean, at least we know what the Flyers are. The Flyers are rebuilding, and they're trying to get better. And they're adding young guys, they're adding assets. The Sixers are just stuck in freaking purgatory.
They are.
You said it better.
That's exactly it.
And it's like, it's almost like they're going to keep trotting Embiid out there, or they're going to keep trotting the promise of Embiid out there because they want people to buy tickets. You know what I'm saying?
That's the problem. I think the women's WNBA team that we get here in Philly is going to win the championship before the Sixers.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we'll get more into that next week. Let's get ready to wrap up here, but we'll be back next week. Coming off an Eagles preseason game. Hang on, one more comment. Mike Papper Jr. says Lindros smartened up when he figured it out that Bobby Clark had nobody to protect him.
When Bobby Clark told Lindros to stop fighting and stop being so tough and try to score because you're an elite scorer, that's when Clark overstepped the line. Because that was his game. And he would watch people around him, but no, he started going in the corners and not watching what was going on because he was trying to do what he was told, and that's when he would get smacked around. That was the biggest downfall to me, was that whole situation. And then obviously mom and dad got involved, and that created a lot. You can't have mom and dad as your agents and all that stuff. That went south. It's a shame.
Yeah, I hear you. But all right.
On your side, best wishes for everything, what we're talking about on the thing here.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Well.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And hey, go Birds, go Phillies. And hang on. We should be back next Monday. So next Monday. So thanks for checking us out, Mike. So
thanks, Mike.
All right, guys, we'll be back next week. Go Birds, go Fighters, and we'll see you next week.